Hey, hope you guys are all having a good day. Thank you once again for listening to the Process YouTube channel. If you enjoy the videos that I'm making, please hit a like. And if you enjoy the conversation that's going on, please comment below. So let's go ahead and get into this lovely game on Sunday between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles, where Kansas City could not be stopped on offense today. And this Eagles defense was horrendous. They did not play a good football game whatsoever on the defensive side of the ball. However, offensively, I feel like they actually had a really good game. Jalen Hurts really bounced back from a bad performance on Monday night. Nick Sirianni called a better game, got him in rhythm, and got him a lot more comfortable in the offense. And I felt like the game plan they came in with was one that, had the defense would have shown up, they could have actually won this football game. They could have stolen a win from Kansas City today. Now, when you look at the stats and everything, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles, offensively, both were unstoppable. Neither defense showed up today, which isn't a surprise. The Chiefs aren't a great defensive team, and apparently neither are the Philadelphia Eagles. But in my previous video before, when I talked about the Eagles needed to keep the football, they needed to convert for third downs, they needed to keep the Kansas City offense on the sideline. And on a lot of the drives, they did that. Stat-wise, they had 30 first downs today. Had time possession about 29 minutes, which was almost a minute less than the Chiefs. Third down efficiency, the Eagles were about 50% on third down. And a fourth down, they had two opportunities, got one, missed another. But the issue with this football team, and this is going to be their Achilles heel the entire year, is they just keep getting stupid penalties at the worst possible time. On offense today, Yamins played a pretty good game, but they had 3 penalties, which took 3 touchdowns off the board. You give them those 3 touchdowns, this is a different football game, but you don't win football games on ifs. And the fact of the matter is, the Kansas City Chiefs have an explosive offense. Tyreek Hill he can't be covered. And Patrick Mahomes is one of the most gifted passers in this league. So first, let me go and talk about the offense first before I get into the trash bin that's the Eagles defense. So there was a surprise inactive before the game even started. And the surprise inactive was Lane Johnson. He was inactive today because of personal reasons. So the Eagles' offensive line had entire backups in besides the center, Jason Kelce, which is something they were pretty used to last year, unfortunately. But I have to say, the offensive line stepped up and they had played a pretty good game for the most part. Yeah, Andre Dilla did get called for a few penalties. There were some mistakes here and there, but for the most part, Jalen Hurts had time to see the field, make plays, and the offense was able to move the ball very effectively. Now, on the Jalen Hurts, he took a step forward today. Last week on Monday night, he didn't look good. He wasn't comfortable. He wasn't hitting his reads. He wasn't doing what he needed to do with the football. Today was much different. When he saw someone open, he hit him. He let the game come to him. He didn't force too many things. Now, he had a couple plays where he was bad. He wasn't perfect today, but we have to remember, and I have to remember, just like rest Eagles fans, we don't like waiting. We're very impatient, but he's a young quarterback. He's only played 8 games. He's going to make boneheaded throws. And he did make a boneheaded play on one of the plays in the first half. He went ahead, took a shot downfield, and almost got picked off. Originally, it was called an interception until they went ahead and reviewed it and overturned it. But these plays are going to happen with a young quarterback. But the thing with Jalen Hurts was he was efficient with the ball. He moved the offense. And there's some positives to take away from this game offensively. I mean, Jalen Hurts was 32 of 48 for 387 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 47 yards rushing today. That's a pretty solid game from your quarterback. Now, is the running game, did the Eagles at least today, they at least ran the football. I mean, it's not saying much compared to Monday night where they just didn't. But there's issues with this running game. There's major issues where either the Eagles just don't want to just call a simple running play, or their offense is so based on these RPOs that it's always coming out as pass. And that's something where a lot of these penalties that our offensive linemen are getting is being caused on that. And when you have an offense that's so relegated to RPO, if the quarterback doesn't make a quick enough decision, the offensive linemen have to assume it's a running play. So they're already blocking downfield when the quarterback's throwing. You're going to get an ineligible man downfield every time. And it's difficult when 4 out of 5 your starters are basically injured and you're starting backups. There's no chemistry, there's no timing. But even with that, I felt like the Eagles' offensive line came together. They had a pretty good game for the most part. Jalen Hurts hit his reads. He got comfortable early. He was able to make plays downfield. Devontae Smith had one of his best games as a pro yet. He had 7 catches for 122 yards. The tight ends were very involved. Ertz had a very nice game, which I haven't seen that from Ertz in a long time. He had a very good game. He had 6 catches. He had 6 catches for 60 yards. I'm reading the stats right now as I'm talking. And Goddard had a very good game. 5 catches for 56 yards and a touchdown. Should have had another one, but once again, penalties are an issue with this football team. And the fact of the matter is, the Eagles are a young football team. They're not going to get the benefit of the doubt right now, like the Kansas City Chiefs will, or a more experienced football team. They're not going to get the benefit of the doubt. They're going to flag it. If they think it's iffy, they're going to flag it every time. Just how it goes. When the Eagles become better and they develop offensively, maybe they'll be able to get away with a few more of those. But right now, they're being given 0 benefits of the doubt. You got to make it better. They got to play better. They got to execute, and they got to do a better job right now. But offensively, I have to say, Jalen Hurts, I felt was a much better performance. He looked more comfortable. He looked more confident. He looked like he was in control today. It was a good job for him. Sirianni, offensive play call-wise, I felt like was pretty decent compared to last week. Now, the issues are this team is having penalties, and they're not scoring in the red zone. This team, for whatever reason, when it gets inside the 20s, cannot punch the football into the end zone. And it's amazing with the 2 tight ends they have in Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert. They should be able to score in the red zone pretty easily, but they're not able to. And part of that is their refusal to run the football and really just run up the middle. I mean, one of the plays in the red zone today, they actually did run up the middle of Kenneth Gainwell, but we didn't see that enough. And not only that, there's just something that's been really bugging me now. And it has to do with Miles Sanders and Kenneth Gainwell. Now, let's be fair. I have nothing against Kenneth Gainwell. He seems like a very good football player. But for whatever reason, it almost seems like Miles Sanders is in like a doghouse or something. He's just not getting the opportunities to make plays right now. I mean, his stats today, he had 7 carries for 13 yards, and they had 3 receptions for 34 yards. I mean, he's just not getting the opportunities. And compared to Gainwell had 3 carries for 31 yards and a touchdown, and he had 6 catches for 58 yards. Gainwell seems to be flowing with this offense much better than Miles Sanders. For whatever reason, they do not seem comfortable using Miles Sanders at this time. And I'm not sure if it's just they're not comfortable with him catching the football. I'm just not sure what it is. But if that's the case, why is Miles Sanders on this football team? Why is Jordan Howard on the practice squad? If you like Kenneth Gainwell being the featured back of this offense, fine. Trade Miles Sanders, bring up Jordan Howard. And now you have Kenneth Gainwell and Jordan Howard. They'd be able to complement each other really well. But for whatever reason, they're not giving Miles Sanders the football. Miles Sanders is a good football player. It's not like Miles Sanders can't make plays. For whatever reason, they refuse to give him the football, and I'm not sure what it is. It's very perplexing right now. So for the offensive side, I have to say they played a pretty good game for the most part. You need to get better in the red zone. You need to cut down those penalties, and you can't have them cost you touchdowns. A lot of missed opportunities, but there's a lot of positives to take away from this offense. It's a young team. They're going to continue to develop. They're going to continue to get better. Let's see where this offense is 5 weeks from now. We might see a very good offense in 5 weeks, but let's see what happens. It's an optimistic game considering what they came off from Monday night. So now let's go to the trash bin and talk about this Eagles defense. I mean, this looks like Jim Schwartz's defense all over again. They're not pressing anybody. They're not getting receivers' face. They're letting these wide receivers just get off the line free. And one of the strengths of the Eagles' defense in previous years was they have a dominant defensive line that can get pressure and make plays. Where the hell is this defensive line? They have done nothing this year. Brandon Graham goes down, and this defensive line just dies out there. And look, the only one who's really done anything as a defensive lineman is Javon Hargrave. He's been an absolute monster this year. But part of that is, where the hell is Fletcher Cox? What has he been doing? He has not done anything this year. He's getting paid over $100 million contract, and he's done nothing. He's obviously can't beat the double teams anymore. He didn't do anything this game. He had maybe a tackle, if that. It wasn't even a tackle for a loss. Fletcher Cox has completely disappeared in this defense. Derek Barnett just needs to be benched at this point. He is just such a damn knucklehead. He continues to make stupid penalties. He continues to do stupid things on the play. He doesn't know what he's doing. He gets beat. He does nothing. Why is he on this team? Derek Barnett has no business being on this football team. Cut him and go ahead and bring in somebody who's actually going to do something for this team. Bring in a young guy. Give that young guy an opportunity. Because Derek Barnett has just been a bust of a first-round pick. He was supposed to be this great pass rusher, and this is his opportunity. He's done nothing. And the fact of the matter is, Josh Sweat basically took his job. Josh Sweat's a better defensive end than Derek Barnett, and he has been for the previous few years. And at least Sweat is getting pressure. At least Sweat is running to the football. At least Josh Sweat is showing you something. What is Derek Barnett showing you? Derek Barnett has been nothing but a disappointment. And he's done. Just get rid of him, trade him, do what you gotta do, just get him off this football team. Now let's talk about the linebackers. The linebackers are simply just not good enough. You can't even get mad at this point. The Eagles don't value this position, and you're seeing the results of it. You cannot have a good defense if you don't have linebackers that can play sideline to sideline and thump somebody. The fact of the matter is this defensive line's not penetrating, and they're not making tackles in the backfield, so the linebackers, their job is supposed to go through and clean up, and they're not doing it. They go ahead and they get faked one way, they bite the fake, and they get beat the other way. These linebackers are just flat out not good enough, and they're a joke. These linebackers are an absolute joke, and it's kind of sad because the secondary is actually not too terrible. We finally get decent corners, and everything else falls to shit. It's the biggest joke you could possibly play on your fan base. We finally get a cornerback in Steven Nelson who's decent, who's a good number 2 behind with Darius Slay. The safeties aren't the worst thing, and Anthony Harris and Riley McLeod came back. But then the defensive line doesn't do anything, and the linebackers are an absolute joke. The Eagles' biggest issue right now is on defense, and the fact of the matter is this defense has zero talent. Fletcher Cox is done and well past his prime. The only promising players you have are Javon Hargrave, but he's getting closer to 30 now, and really Josh Sweat. Besides that, you don't have really anything defensively. You have no future. You have nothing to show for it. Maybe Milton Williamson, a backup defensive tackle, maybe he can do something. But the only way you're going to find out what you have in him is if you get rid of Fletcher Cox, which, if the Eagles keep losing like the way they are, he needs to get traded. You would need to do a complete fire sale, but, it's week 4. Let's see what happens. This was probably the most successful offensive game they've had in the past couple weeks. Defense has just been a complete and utter disgrace. Besides week 1, they haven't done anything. I thought they were turning the corner, maybe showing you something, and then this game they go ahead and they don't do nothing. And to bring to another point I've been hearing since after the game, a lot of people are coming after Jonathan Gannon, saying he doesn't know what he's doing. It's a Jim Schwartz defense again. And I even said it earlier in this video, the same thing. But the fact, we have to remember back after this is years ago, when Jim Johnson passed away. Sean McDermott, he was now the Buffalo Bills head coach, came in and he tried retooling this defense. And the defense was a joke. It was pitiful. Nothing was working. And the reason why it wasn't working is because he has no talent to work with. So this could be very well the same situation. Jonathan Gannon could be a very good defensive coordinator. But the fact of the matter is, we have no talent on defense. So what is he supposed to do? He can't blitz anybody. As soon as we saw it late in the game, as soon as the Eagles blitzed, they hit Tyreek Hill for a 40-yard touchdown. It was a barn burner. I mean, if you're going to blitz and then get beat deep every time, why are you going to blitz? It's just, I get it. It's frustrating to see the same defense over and over every week. We see the corners playing off. We see D-line getting no pressure. It's last year all over again defensively. I get it. I'm frustrated by it too. But we got to remember, who do we have defensively? Do we even have a superstar player on the defensive side of the football? It's supposed to be Fletcher Cox, but where's he been? He's done nothing. He's been getting double-teamed and even single-teamed, and he's still not doing anything. He's no longer the dominant player he used to be. And after him, who else do we have? We don't have anybody. So it's tough to blame everything on Jonathan Gannon. He's the easy target right now. But for this sense, hey, we need to bring in talent next year on this defensive side of the football. That's what this football team needs to do. We need talent, and it might take a couple top 5 picks, which, as of right now, the Eagles may be in line for. So, I mean, there's your little positivity right there for the defense. Hopefully we'll have some draft capital and some cap space, and we'll be adding some defensive players. But as of right now, this defense is just, they can't do anything right. They can't get off the field. And when they even when they do have an opportunity to get off the field, they commit a stupid penalty. They jump off sides. They interfere with somebody, or they roughing the passer, or Derek Barnett does something stupid again. Besides all those things, maybe they could actually get off the field without giving up a touchdown for once. But it wasn't happening this game. And they did get one turnover, but one turnover wasn't enough. It just was not enough. They needed more stops. They needed to get the Chiefs off the field, and every opportunity where there was a chance for them to get Patrick Mahomes back on the sideline, they committed a stupid penalty. And that's what this team is. This is a 1-3 football team. They're young at the quarterback position and a lot of the skill positions on the offensive side of the ball. And on the defensive side of the ball, they have no talent. They have absolutely nothing on defense. On offense, you got some promising players. You got to see what you got. But on defense, you don't have anything. And there's no way you can compete in the NFL right now if you cannot generate a consistent pass rush and make open field tackles and not commit penalties. And right now, the Philadelphia Eagles can't do any of that. So next week, the Eagles go to Carolina to take on the Carolina Panthers. It's got to be a must-win game for them. If the Eagles want to save their season, you got to win that game, because the entire NFC East won this week. You can't get further behind. And the way that defensively they're playing, they're going to get further behind. So it's now or never. Time to put up or shut up. As Jalen Hurts said, rent's due, and you guys haven't been paying your rent for the past 3 weeks. So you either pay up or the eviction notice is coming. So that being said, thank you for listening. If you want to continue the conversation in the comment section below, please do. And hope you're all having a good rest of your night. Peace.